What's up, everybody? It's King A.D.S, your man, back up in your face, back up in the space. Just here to talk into this device yet again and try to transmit some good energy or some informative energy or whatever kind of energy that you take it as or whatever. But I'm here again and doing another compilation video. And I hope that you guys checked the last video out and everything. And like as I say, I've been doing this for a while. I never really expected to have a lot of traction with things like these, but I got inspired by others to kind of share information and from other personal reasons that I've stated in other videos. And that's part of the reason I did these compilation videos, because I feel like I've gotten a chance to touch on a few things as time's moved on. And and you can see that it's a developmental process and I'm still developing. And um, you can tell like sometimes the sound is messed up. I didn't have a stand or anything to work with, or I wasn't even aware that my hands can cover up the speakers and things like that and mess up the sound. So there were times when things like that would happen, but I do appreciate the people that did check out the content. And if you're watching this for the first time now, follow or share, subscribe, like, whichever way, just positive vibes to support what's going on. And big shouts to everybody that I see out there making their moves, as I say, as usual. And what else? Oh yeah, man. If there's stuff that I tried a few other new things in recent videos too. I'm trying different things out to see what kind of feedback I get or to see what kind of results I get. And so if there's something that's working for me in these videos, let me know. You know what I'm saying? In the comment section, let me know. Like maybe I could, or there's something you want to see me touch on, let me know. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by touch on, pause. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by touch on is, figuratively, like if you want to hear me speak on something or cover a topic or something that you find interesting, let me know so I can check that out as well and make some improvements or some changes or bring up something that you're interested in hearing about. But with no further ado, I hope you enjoy this topic compilation, and it's about unplugging and reprogramming in the way that we see things. So I guess like unplugging and reprogramming the brain. There we go. All right. So enjoy. Peace.
This is a King A.D.S music production.
What's up? I'm back with you, as I love to be here to connect with you and everything like that, and just try to share something that's positive, dig deeper, to just try, to just give it an effort. That's all this is really about, to give you something that has some substance rather than just some rah-rah, as I always say, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just giving it my shot to put my 2 cents in on some things, or to just share, really. It's not like I'm the end-all be-all source of all things and all knowing. I just, I stand on the shoulders of giants just like everybody else. You know what I mean? I can't take credit for the things that I've learned all the way through, but whether it's experience or reading, studying, so on and so forth, I just go with that. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to share a little bit of what I've gathered or what I can gather and bring to you at the moment in time when I'm trying to do these videos, man. So I really appreciate you if you do watch these, man. It means a lot to me. You know what I mean? And all you are wonderful people out there on your mission, on your grind. And things always come up. And this time it's reprogram your mind, right? So let's shine on it. So real quick, we've touched on this before, in a few other videos, in different pieces and everything. So I challenged myself to come back and try to direct myself towards the topic a little bit more specific, right? It's probably not going to be that long though, because all I'm really going to say is, okay, so we have the reprogramming of the mind where we receive some sort of gratification from the environment that we're in. So that becomes our perception of what life is as fundamental state, right? So whatever we're exposed to, take in and communicate with and use as our spiritual or vocal or a verbal currency or whatever, right? We kind of exchange those things throughout our communities. So the gratifications, though, do they put your life in a healthy position or do they put your life in an unhealthy position, right? And so if it's a healthy position, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Keep on trucking, right? But if it's on a negative perspective side, then yeah, we start to notice some things. Sometimes people don't notice those things, but self-awareness of that would be the beginning point of trying to reprogram the mind, is to realize that something's not right. Why are you not getting the result that you would desire from going at these situations the way that you have been? So obviously where this has gotten you is not quite desirable or isn't working for you, air quotes, you know what I mean, and all these kind of things. So you want to change that and reprogram the way that you come at the scenario. So inside, I feel like where it starts is like, is the voice inside of your head saying things like I am and I will and I can? Or is it saying things like I can't, I won't, and, all the negative aspects? You know what I'm saying? So are you getting gratification from negative aspects or positive things? Are they reinforcing you? There's always greatness inside of every person, and there's the worst inside of every person. But what side are we focusing on? So when we have these positive aspects, it motivates us, it makes us grow, and that's where we want to be. And when we have the negative ones, it makes us stagnant and kind of regress. So we want to change. And the negative has a sting, whereas the positive memory has a warmth, and it lasts with you and resonates and you'll never forget. And that's kind of like what I'm doing now, is I'm sharing the positive warmth with y'all rather than just the negative. You know what I'm saying? The things that sting, and we all do have them. We make mistakes, we bumble and trip and fall, right? So, but we get up. So the negative reinforcement is something that's undesirable, like touching a stove when you're a child. And you will always remember that that was a bad move, for it burnt you physically. So these things that we intentionally or unintentionally experience in life tend to leave scars in other ways, right? So what we will have to do is learn how to connect our actions to certain results, right? And that's kind of like what our brain does already. It picks up these patterns and it elaborates on these patterns, it extrapolates these patterns and gets the logistics, and then says, hey, for survival, hey, maybe that's not a good thing to do. And so whereas some people are really keen to that kind of instinct, and maybe that's why they will resonate with the positive more naturally, some people's radar may be off, or maybe it's just a bit dingy from the atmosphere that they're around at the time, right? And so with that, they will have to try to look at their surroundings and have a contrast and distance, a basis of comparison, to see light into dark, light and the shadow, right? To see the difference between the two. And then from there, make assessment to say, okay, I have to admit to myself first that these things are destructive and these things over here, on the other hand, are constructive. And I'm going to have to gravitate more towards the constructive things. Now, so if the area is constituted of negativity primarily, or people that will bring you back down into a negative space, not trying to expand, they don't want you to reach and learn, they just want you to keep it simple so misery has company. Those will be things that a person, or anyone, would have to start to realize and kind of distance themselves from that. So if you're trying to do positive things and then people down it and stuff, you're definitely in a negative place. You know what I'm saying? People should encourage you to do the things that you love. People should encourage you and support you along the way, rather than just try to pick you apart. There's no reason to pick you apart. You haven't done anything to anyone. So, so you have to see these differences. Does the environment itself, like, does it not give people an opportunity, like, to grow and expand? Does this other area have those resources, like resource wise? Does an area not have resources versus have resources? So also, those are issues, as a collective, that we probably should bring up to other powers too. But as we can see, there's a comparison and contrast. So you want to be where you can hone your ability and skill and what do you call it? Potential. There you go. Potential, your potential. This thing still works. It still works. All right. I'm just, trying to dig in there and pick out something. So yeah, so that's basically, just touching on it again. I've touched on it in pieces in other videos, but it's all about what you take in. So have you learned everything that reinforces a negative structure in your life? If even the information that you've learned, do you have to take in new information? Just keep learning, right? This is all part of it. It's so weird how learning always seems to come back up. And I kind of hate saying it because it's almost unavoidable. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get too cliche or too repetitive, but it does come back down to that. Your journey is your own, and you can't get there with the crowd. You'll have to do a lot of things on your own, in your own time, in your own space, in order to grow and make the proper progress in the amount of time that you need to do it in. So yeah, reprogramming your mind is not easy. It's easier said than done. I wouldn't want to get on here and act like, oh, all you got to do is this, and this. Some things, old, like they say, old habits die hard. You have to actually desire the change. You have to want the change to come. These things have to be like, you can't see a future without the change. You know what I mean? Hopefully change doesn't come at a doctor's visit or a jail or, anything that's, insurmountably damaging to somebody's life. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it come at a time where they could just step back, have some insight, and just feel that something's a little out of place and then explore that. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean. Like if you were around negative people, you probably would just brush that off instead of explore it. But why don't you just explore it? Instead, listen to your inner voice tells you something's out of place. So check it out. You know what I mean? And when you do, it might take you into other things that you learn, which gives you more of a compass, and eventually you set you to actions. The actions lead you to purpose. The purpose puts you on your way of practice, right? So these practices is what we do when we have to do these things. Everything we try to do, we have to do every day. And it's practicing better habits. Do we get the things when we can or do when we want to? You know what I mean? We need to get to things as soon as we can rather than later. If you can get to it now, do it now rather than later. You know, often, like I said in the beginning, do you say things like I won't or I can't or, like things like that, so you got to reprogram that to I can, I am, and things like I am wonderful, I am worthy, I am good, I am powerful, I am intelligent, I am beautiful. You can do this. You know what I'm saying? Don't knock yourself. Don't say, I'm not like them. I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm not beautiful. I'm not rich. I'm not, all those things, all they ever do is just tear you to shreds. They just negatively reinforce you and you go out into the world feeling like an ant. You feel so small and not knowing that even the ants have such a strong purpose. You know what I'm saying? And so, while they stay on a focus and purpose, we have to do the same thing. Go with the flow of the nature instead of against it. And the nature often will tell a person to look into this. Where they say it warrants more study, right? That's the thing they like to say. And I believe in that. I believe in that. That's like a scientific method even. So whoever you are, I hope that you can get that, because even putting it in that perspective is still like a scientific method. Like you look at it and then look a little bit off or feel a little bit off and you like, yeah, it seems like it makes sense, but something's not right. I got to look into it first and see if the results the same way forward and backwards. You know what I'm saying? And before I could come to a conclusion. And so, before just taking something in as doctrine and following it as doctrine, do your own research, take your time, especially with yourself, because you're so worth it, and if anything I could express is that you're so worth it, and I'm the same way. I had to learn so many things about myself. Man, I continue to learn about myself and I continue to work on myself. You know what I mean? So it's like I said, it's easier said than done, but nevertheless, we got to move forward. You know what I'm saying? And try to do a little something better each day. We don't have to change everything all at once, but just keep trying to put one foot forward in the right direction. And surely you'll get there at the end of your path. You know what I'm saying? instead of looking at the path like, wow, look at how far I have to go. Don't worry about that. Just worry about your pace of breathing and your walking, and enjoy the sights along the way. You know what I mean? So with that, I like to leave you with that. So that's about, reprogram your mind a little bit more. You are what you eat. Always remember that. You know what I'm saying? All aspects. And let's keep it growing. Let's keep shining, man. Like I said, drop me a like, drop me a subscribe. Come check me out on all my different pages and links on social media. I'm not really too big on things like Facebook and Instagram. You know what I'm saying? I'm more interested in doing things like this right now, and like just trying to make sure that I have some sort of a physical, real presence that y'all could actually see, and that that I have something, like I always say, that I have something up here between these two ears. You know what I'm saying? So no matter what you see me doing, the core of who I am and what the type of things I could think about and where my brain can go. And so you see that as another brother or another individual who's just like you, in that same mental affinity or even physically the same, and we have a connection all the way through and through. And so that way we live by example. And I'm just trying to do the best I can. This ain't like, I don't think I'm special or perfect or nothing, but I'm doing what I feel a human being first should do, for me, so man, I appreciate anyone who come along with me, and much love to you, and let's keep growing. All right, y'all. Love you. Peace. Check, 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 check. All right, I feel like my mic sounds nice. What's up, everybody? I'm back again on here doing another vlog post or upload, or whichever way it's coming across to you. Just so glad that it is. Trying to position my microphone better to get the sound a little bit better on the vocals and everything like that. But the reason I wanted to do the vocals on the microphone today is because I wanted to share another side of me with the visual aspect in the video. I wanted to share some artwork with you guys, because I'm also an artist, as I've mentioned before, not just audiotistically, but also visually. I like to paint. I like to draw. I was a visual communications illustrations major in college. As I said, I've expressed before that I wanted to be an animator. Yes, I did take wrong turns and made some mistakes, just like the rest of us. But life is a learning process. Excuse me. But life is a learning process, and we're in this big universe, this earth or whatever, as a school, in a way to look at it. So, as we're going on, we just learn our lessons. We change, we evolve, we shape, reshape, and reform. And that's kind of like what this video is about. It's about like us being here to be more than just another cog in the system, or compartmentalized into a category, right? You are put here to do whatever you feel that your heart desires. And how do you break free from that? You may ask yourself, like, how do I unlearn what I've already learned? And so the first step I'm going to ask all of you to do that's watching this video, because I had to do it too, and all of us will continue to need to do it from time to time, but that is to forgive yourself for not knowing what you didn't already know. You know what I mean? Like, how could you be upset with yourself for not understanding that something could have been a tactic or something to lure you in, and give yourself such a hard time over something that is so complex in its layers that the average eye probably wouldn't catch it? And it actually takes years of studies and to get to that level of expertise, to even to utilize tools or skills like that in a daily basis, let alone as a profession, right? Like for instance, just for an example, like advertising or campaigns like that that are led by specific agendas for one reason or another, right? So how do you break free from all that programming? But like one of the things you're going to have to do is to please forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for not getting the answer right. You know, you got a lot of answers right, but then forgive yourself for the things that you didn't get right, the mistakes you made, a couple of wrong turns here and there. But what's life without learning, right? That's what we're here to do. So you can't beat yourself up along the way, because along the way you may see examples of what you consider to be successful or unsuccessful. It may equate to material possessions and things, but on the health side or on the compassionate side, are are these people's lives suffering? Is it like they work so many hours that they never see their family, or that they work so many hours that their health is in turmoil, right? Things like that. And so then the question arises, can you afford to have a life with the status that you need in order to, to have a life that's good, and have good health? Or can you just be poor with good health, but with no status, so you can't have the exact life that you feel you need to live in, or should be able to live? And from everything I've learned and seen over my years, I would say that I feel like there's an area where you can have both. There is. And, and that comes from living within, like, how I've heard another dude that I really love to watch, and his name is Ralph Smart, but he'll say the heart space. But that's absolutely true. What he says is absolutely true. Living in the heart space is what brings you into that connection. When you make the connection between what's familiar to your soul, which enriches your soul and actually brings a genuine smile or a sense of accomplishment to your well-being or to your essence and existence, is the path to follow. And by trying to make the steps to untangle what you've already learned. So by doing so, the next step would be to seek out knowledge or people with the knowledge and experience or both, right? To enrich your mind with new material for a new path to make the adjustment, since the perception of what you were in already didn't seem to quite get you to where you need to go. So as I've expressed in other videos, and many others now express it too, I wouldn't say that they just now, but we all know this pretty much, that doing the same things over, expecting different results, is the very definition of insanity. So why go crazy, right? So let's change our perspectives. Let's try something new. Let's live a different path. Let's live a different life. You know what I mean? Or else you will be subject to what I call, in our society, I like to call it the seesaw, right? The seesaw. Things are never quite balanced. You either have, what I like to see it as, you either have status or you have freedom, right? And they also use separations between genders, ethnicities, and things as well. And I've noticed that it could be a tactic, is from what it seems. It seems to have characteristics of being a tactic to be used to control the traffic or the direction of the narrative, like the timing and things like that. So that way you'll always have a rebuttal of some sort to open up a door to make another spin-off for another budget, for another plan, yada, 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 yada. Goes on and on and on. But has there ever really been a time where all classes, all ethnicities, all sexes have had the benefit of having a place where they can build their status and be free? So follow their own path to build the status, right? And that's actually what this is gearing towards, right? But in the way that we're living now, you either are free, but you'll have no money, you'll have no status, but you'll have all the know-how, like how to do things, right? But you won't have the money to get it done. Or you can have the money, but you won't be your own man. Most of your time will be given to a particular set of goals, right? On average, and most of that takes up most of an individual's energy in any given day. So when they get home, they're not like motivated to jump on it. Even if their mind is willing, their body may not be, right? It'd be like, that's cute, but I'm shutting it down, right? So you get tired, whatever. And as you get older, you definitely don't have the energy that you had when you were younger. It's not the fact that you can't pull an all-nighter. It's just that it hurts a little bit more when you pull the all-nighter. And when you're young, that's the gift, is that you bounce back so quick. But as you get older, that might shift a little bit. So you could see how a person's dynamic will be like, well, yeah, they give most of their good hours to the task that they have to perform, and then we'll have nothing left in the tank for their other goals. And sometimes, Lord forbid, their relationships too. Sometimes people's relationships suffer because of things like that. Or you can be, see, so on the other side, you can be free, have all the energy and time for your relationship and everything great to say and share and all that kind of stuff, and ideas that are great, fertile ideas that can grow and make all kinds of things happen, but you won't have the status and money to be taken seriously or to make that happen yourself. When on the other side, you won't have the time, but you'll have the money. You see that? So to get off of the seesaw is to learn how to unlearn the things that you've learned already, that you've taken in. Like, are you being informed or are you being indoctrinated, right? So unlearn the indoctrinations that keep you in a hamster wheel, and then start to focus on the things that actually bring you joy. So that way you can work yourself into a new adjustment that you do what you love, right? And you can't do that. You can't succeed at that without making a decision, right? Like the whole you can't serve two masters thing, right? So it's going to be tough. It's going to be rough. But I would say that it is worth it. And it's better to start than to hesitate and not start. But there are other ways of doing that. There are practical means when people follow their hearts. Maybe they want to be some sort of a research scientist or something like that. But you'll just have to go out on your own road to start and make your own lane, right? That's what I've had to do actually in music too, because I feel like, not just myself, I feel like there's a good chunk of artists that are amazing out there in the world that don't have, I would say, like, air quotes, a home. You know what I mean? Like, according to pop culture. But these artists are definitely just as talented and make hot materials as far as that would be concerned. All that kind of stuff. It's just not fit into these niche compartmentalized type of categories, right? So we do have that, but the thing is, for that, you'll have to make your own lane. So that means you won't have the support of major backers or people that have ulterior motives, or a lane that's already working for them. You'll have to tough it out, and you'll have to make your own lane. But amongst making that own lane, hopefully that you're getting yourself educated and that you're being informed, so that way you can make better decisions along your path. And that's what it's all about, that metamorphosis, and realizing the strength inside of you, the greatness inside of you, and reaching for that and never settling for anything else, and actually having faith and belief that you can pull this off and achieve it, because you can. One of the most, also another good principle is consistency. As you see, I'm back in front of you as I should be, because I love to be here. There's no other place that'd be better to be than to be sharing and connecting with you, whether it's music or on these thoughts or concepts or things that I found interesting or helpful, which I hope that some of it is to someone out there. But over the the height of it, it's just the overall gift and ability to connect with you, which is the best thing ever. But yeah, seesaw, either status or you have your freedom. Status or freedom or status, but never both, right? And the way to break away from that is to go within, to find out the things that make you happy and drive you first, so you find purpose and direction, but also to arm yourself with history and get all the pieces of knowledge. Try not to leave anything out. Get as much as you can. In this world, the most precious thing you have is time. The best sword you can have is knowledge. You know what I mean? So get as much knowledge as you can, because there's no guarantee about how much time you have while you're learning your lessons and going up in your levels in life. So, you know, do it like it was yesterday. Do it. You know what I'm saying? It needed to be done yesterday. You know what I mean? We don't have no time to waste. And from what I gathered, everything that I've read or taken in seems like these people or beings or whatever it is, the ones that love you and people that love you throughout history want you to be informed. They want you to be able to make your own decisions and set your own path and be free. And that's how you could tell who's on your side. And you can tell the literature that sets you into a path of slavery when they tell you things like to accept your whippings because you were the one that's incompetent and all these kind of things, and that killing's good all the time, you know. Always trying to justify things that kind of go against the hands of nature, you know what I mean? And um, perceived society, accepted society norms and stuff like that that are actually generated from ulterior motives and people's insecurities, and or you know, I'll leave that alone a little bit, but you can dig for yourself to see what I mean, and dig deep too. And also, when you have time every once in a while, look up public research records on sciences, sound frequencies, health, terahertz, um, all kinds of things, medical experiments, things like that. A lot of those things are made to be public record because they have to be for access at any point to be followed for research, because research is universal. You know what I mean? Also, someone else brought up something that was interesting in another talk that I watched a long time ago, is another source to gather information is to go straight to like embassies, things like that. I wonder if the White House has records, you know, things to that nature. But you can go straight to governments. You can go straight to different branches and request. It doesn't mean you'll always get it, but if it's for research, they might let you go ahead and get some information for you to research even while you're there, and you could take your notes, or you can see if you can get them delivered to you or anything like that, or what it takes to do that. But that's how you can get information straight from the source. Because excuse me again, but like certain documents have been changed or excluded, right? And you'll want to know what the perspective in your land. I mean, it'll be excluded or changed in your land, so you won't get the whole story. So one of the ways that you can combat that to get the whole story is just to go straight to the source of the places and actually speak with them directly and see if there's a way that you can research some of these topics. Maybe if some of these topics are something that can be made available, then you can get another particular perspective on insight. And I think that is also awesome. That was like golden when I heard that. But I like things like that. And but when you dig into all this information, you know, be amazed yourself, you know, learn for yourself, you know, see all the chronological order fall into place. But all back to just being free. Go with being yourself. Try to figure out what it is that makes you tick. That also, what makes you tick and brings a genuine smile or a sense of accomplishment to you, also drops your stress level, raises your energy level. And that is one of the principles of recharging what you would call your battery. So when you feel burnt out, remember why you came, remember your direction, and remember where you come from, the true essence of you that brings happiness and joy. And I don't mean necessarily from your actions, but it could be simple as something as when you see a child laugh, an innocent laugh from a child, the smile of a child getting like ice cream or something, just a senseless act from one person to another that you witness. These things are the magic that make you have hope inside. What replenishes your hope and happiness is what recharges your battery, brings you back to the side of positivity in your connection. While the structure can break you down and suck the energy out of you from time to time. And the ideals that are created around that on their own are mechanical. And so they also could suck the energy out from you, relying on status to have an identity versus, you know, what actually creates the person, you know? So, just wanted to get into that a little bit. Stay off the seesaw type of stuff. Forgive yourself. Number one, forgive yourself. And it's hard to do. And to accept that you can change and to accept that you have greatness in you, really is what I wanted to say, is accept that you have greatness in you, and accept that that's why you came here, is to evolve into that greatness. And yes, you may have made mistakes, you may have stumbled, you may have even really biffed it, but forgive yourself so we can ditch all that. You know what I mean? So we can ditch all that. You know, forget the mania. You know what I mean? We're gonna ditch the mania. We're gonna go with what's true, but you need to arm yourself with truth and facts so you know the reason for why you want to stay on the side of positivity, and why it's stronger, and why you are stronger for being in the positive stream versus the hypothetical shortcut and the weakness in the dark side that has no originality and can never create and influence, shape, and form in a real light, will always be a cheap imitation knockoff of what the positive stream is. And you are part of the original, the OG, the real, the real, the real. And I just wanted to share that with you. I hope you enjoy the video. I hope you enjoy the art, which comes out of the portal, which I will be talking about in another video. And I can't wait to get to that. And so it means I'll be back on the microphone trying to get this sound just right, so I can be all up in your eardrum, all nice and personal and everything the way I like it. And man, make sure you check out all the music. Please like the video, subscribe, support, so I can continue to grow, reach more wonderful, amazing people like you and you and you and you all out there. And I appreciate you so much. And man, thank you for watching. And I'll be back with another one. I love all of y'all. Peace. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the compilation. This is only the second one, and as I go back, I get a chance to not only see how I performed on it, to see how I've done, I also get a chance to see how some of the material that I've done over the time has either aged, how did it age to age well, or to see what I was speaking about and to see part of the journey along the way. So that way I can go back and kind of reshape my compass, in a sense, like realign my compass, and then move forward, toward, in the future, towards other topics and things to build on. So kind of like I could use my old footage as a stepping stone for new things, just like how we use experiences, our mistakes, or things that we've done right for our stepping stones and guidelines to move forward in our lives and progressions and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, just getting going here with this kind of stuff. And just like I said, let me know how you like the content. Let me know if there's other things that work for me. Like in one video, I put like clips and different things. If you guys enjoy that, I'll do more of it. But let me know, connect with me, and I'm so happy to be able to do this with you guys. You guys are the greatest, and see you on the next one. Peace.